All right, I found something for you today. This is a book called The Energy of Prayer by Thich Nhat Hanh, one of my favorite monks. And I was very interested in the book, of course, because I just don't often think of prayer and Buddhism. I'm not that familiar with Buddhism as a religion. I know a lot of Buddhists, but God has been so minimalized in that discussion. I never really identified it, but I loved the fact that Thich Nhat Hanh was writing a book about prayer. He has some beautiful things to say. He says there's two very important things about it, so I'm going to read here. The effective prayer is made up of many elements, but there are two that seem the most important. The first is to establish a relationship between ourselves and the one we are praying to. It is the equivalent of connecting an electrical wire when we want to communicate by telephone. Earlier I asked the question, to whom do we pray? And I answered, the one who prays and the one prayed to are two realities that cannot be separated from each other. This is basic in Buddhism. Actually, it's basic in Vedanta also. Buddhism actually is very similar to Jnana Yoga in its practices. And I'm quite sure that every religion, there are those who have practiced for a long time and have this understanding, right? It's like there's this notion that God, as the absolute unchanging divine principle of the universe, and his manifestation or his power are two different things. In Christianity, it's God the Father and Word. And from Word, Jesus is the most pure manifestation of it, but the Word has become every avatar that has come throughout history. As the Gita says, that God has become regularly. Anytime that right living is in decline and confusion is on the rise, he says, I come and incarnate myself to give a way out. But all that's beside the point there. So here he's talking, know who you're praying to, and that there's an intimate bond between the divine and yourself. And where that is and the ultimate reality of it, not so important right now. You pray to God as you see God, where you see God, as you see God. Start with that and be content in that. And as the experience of prayer continues on, as your practice of prayer continues, that understanding becomes more and more intimate and ever deeper, approaching a truth that you will see when realization occurs, when you come to know who you are, what your nature is. He says, God is us and we are God. The entire visualization goes like this. The one who bows and the one who is bowed to are both by nature empty. Therefore, the communication between us is inexpressibly perfect, right? In Vedanta, we would say empty. Empty would be fine, because in that ultimate reality, whether it's empty or full doesn't matter. There's one without a second, so there's no one to describe it. But we say that the ultimate nature of this universe is love, wisdom, and being, Satchitananda. And so that's what becomes apparent in our prayer. That is the intimacy and the sweetness, and it's that love that is the unity of it. Right? So he gave us the first effective element is to know who you are praying to and to pray. The second element we need for prayer is energy. We have connected the telephone wire. Now we need to send an electric current through this telephone wire. So what is this electric current? In prayer, the electric current is love, mindfulness, and right concentration. Mindfulness is the real presence of our body and our mind. Our body and our mind are directed toward one point, the present moment, the I am, the isness, God. If this is lacking, we are not able to pray, no matter what our faith. If you are not present, who is praying? Right? And if you look at Brother Lawrence and the practice of the presence of God, he talks at length about this ideal. And he says that real prayer is simply presence, simply being in the presence, and not allowing anything that's not here and not now infect the mind during prayer. All right, so this not here, not now means just that. If your boss scolded you earlier today, and you're sitting there trying to be at peace in prayer, you can't let that scolding come into the now. That's from that time. It's not from this time. So don't drag it in and let it distract you. If you feel like you need to pray about it, that's another matter. Bring it into the present. Be present with that feeling and with that occurrence, and share it with the beloved. Let the beloved see. You see, prayer starts out with us being very independent and talking to God, telling God everything. But after we grow in prayer, that becomes more and more like an old couple. As an old couple ages, spend years together, they don't any longer have to complete their sentences. They kind of talk to each other in half sentences and general familiarities because they know each other. And prayer also takes on that ideal. And then at some point in prayer, you realize that you don't have to formulate words at all, that you simply open yourself up to the awareness of the divine. And then as we even grow farther in prayer, we come to know that God is actually living this life and that we are secondary to it. And ultimately we return with the disappearance of our ego, with the dissolution of our ego. We come to know ourselves as divine love, divine wisdom and being. We harmonize with that universal isness. We harmonize with God, with love and with wisdom. So the two most important things: know who you're praying to and pray with love and with the right concentration and with mindfulness. Don't be distracted, and come to experience a unity of love that will happen in you.